Now at 9, a fatal crash leaves 3 people dead in Labette County. Plus, Bethel Baptist Church in Joplin honors veterans with a solemn 21-gun salute. And Mocan Dragway hosts an annual Memorial Weekend Bracket Classic in Asbury.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Carrie Worthen. 3 people were killed in Labette County, Kansas crash late Friday night. Authorities say a vehicle was traveling east on Highway 166 near Coffeyville when it hit a steer in the roadway, causing it to go into the westbound lane, where it was struck by a semi. 3 people in the vehicle were killed. The driver, 81-year-old Jimmy Bond, 79-year-old Barbara Bond, and their grandson, 21-year-old Colton Bond, all of Edna, Kansas. The driver of the semi was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Meteorologist Chloe Arroyo joins us with a first look at the weather.
Yeah, temperatures have been very warm today and will continue to do so as we head into the evening hours. Hanging around in the mid to upper 70s. Lamar 75, Joplin you're at 77, Iola you're hanging out at 74 degrees as it stands. We're not going to get much colder from this point on. Tonight our low about 60 degrees and then we'll warm right up into the mid 70s by the mid-morning hours tomorrow. So we'll warm up pretty quickly, but it won't just be sunshine as we head into tomorrow. I'll give you a full update on the latest drought conditions, possible showers this week, including tomorrow, but I'll get a full detail on your Memorial Day forecast. Now that's all coming up here in just a bit. Back to you, Carrie.
Thanks, Chloe. The Bethel Baptist Church, located at intersection of 12th and Wagner in Joplin, paid tribute to the fallen heroes with a solemn 21-gun salute and ceremony today. KOAM Shigun Bamdeli has more.
Congregants and community members gathered outside the church before the start of the weekly service to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their country.
That his congregation totally understood what the flag and what Memorial Day means. And we, the Honor Guard, the ceremony you saw today is something we do at veterans' graves all over this area.
The sound of rifle shots pierced the air as a team of veterans from the local American Legion post executed the salute.
Everybody that takes the oath and joins the service, whether they actually see combat or not, has put their life on the line or been willing to put their life on the line for their country and the freedom of our country. And I think it's only fitting and proper that we pay them the honor and the respect that they deserve from doing it.
A veteran who was amongst the congregation says he is proud to have witnessed the service.
Very proud, honored that I had the opportunity to serve.
Harrington tells me the meaning behind the bells they play.
Ringing the bell is strictly, we're one of the few units that do that. It's actually a Navy bell. And as you heard John mentioning earlier, when the sailors were buried at sea, they had no way to perform other honors other than to ring the bells.
In Joplin, Shigun Bamdeli, KOAM News.
Over 50 people attended the event. The Mocan Dragway celebrated Memorial Weekend with its annual Bracket Classic. The event consisted of 5 races for different vehicle classics: Super Pro, No Electronic Sportsman, Motorcycle, and Junior Dragster. Each class had prizes for first place and runner-ups varying from $2,000 to $20.
Today's event is for our regulars, our diehards, our bracket racers, guys that are local, guys that travel in from the surrounding areas that have race cars. They're out here running for the prestigious Memorial Weekend Classic title in their own category.
This is the 57th year of the Bracket Classic. In a Memorial Day weekend tribute, more than 65,000 American flags are now in place at every grave and headstone at Houston National Cemetery, thanks to a small army of volunteers. The group Flags for Fallen Vets issued an appeal for volunteers to help place the flags this morning. An estimated 2,400 showed up, and by 8:30 a.m., every single flag was in place. The volunteers included military families, veterans, Boy Scouts, school groups, and teams from Houston area corporations. The Department of Veteran Affairs wants to raise awareness about a final honor for nation's veterans. They say burial benefits frequently go unused by veterans, and they want those who serve and their families to know the extent of their options. Karen Caffia reports from Arlington, Virginia.
Amid the quiet and the solemnity, Arlington National Cemetery is expanding, adding 70 acres to the south of these hallowed grounds, an estimated 80,000 burial sites by late 2027.
The current physical expansion that we're doing right now was the last available land contiguous, in other words, connecting to Arlington National Cemetery. And even to do that expansion, we've had to reconstruct existing roads.
The cemetery, maintained by the U.S. Army but open to veterans of all branches, will be able to accommodate a fraction of the current 23 million active duty service members and veterans.
Without southern expansion, we would close as an active cemetery, which means new burials around 2041. Southern expansion, when complete, will take us to about the mid-2060s.
About 30 miles to the south of Arlington is Quantico National Cemetery. It's one of 155 national cemeteries across the nation, maintained by the Department of Veterans Affairs National Cemetery Administration. Matthew Quinn, VA Undersecretary for Memorial Affairs, says the department is working with veterans groups to encourage those who have served to utilize their final benefit.
We are working hard with Arlington National Cemetery and DoD to make sure that there's awareness. So those who maybe are thinking about Arlington, we want to make sure that they know that there's other options as well.
The network also includes 121 state-run cemeteries funded by the VA, and they say about 94% of U.S. veterans have one of these burial sites within 75 miles of home. Still, utilization of VA burial benefits, which include no-cost interment as well as similar benefits for spouses and dependents, is low compared to other VA benefits like health care and education. Last year, just 22%.
That's a number we want to see increase. We want to make sure veterans know that this is an option across America.
So they're working to improve rural access to burial sites and in dense urban areas build above-ground columbariums with a smaller footprint, like this one at Los Angeles National Cemetery. Another will soon open in Queens, New York. All of it a way to say thank you one final time.
The way we look at it is this is the nation's last chance to thank that veteran for their service.
Coming up, we'll take a look at what health experts are saying about the effects of long COVID and why you may be experiencing them. A new government study is focused on helping to define long COVID. Researchers at the Annual Institute of Health released findings from the study of nearly 10,000 Americans, many of whom had COVID-19. The report found long COVID symptoms including loss of smell and taste, chronic cough, brain fog, thirst, palpitations, chest pain, fatigue, changes in sexual desire, dizziness, gastrointestinal issues, abnormal movements, and hair loss. A preliminary study funding by the National Institutes of Health suggests about 10% of adults who had an Omicron variant reported having long COVID. The study, published in the Journal of American Medical Association, compared over 8,000 adults who had COVID to another 1,100 who were not infected with COVID. The study is not final, and an NIH expert says there are limitations to the findings. The study is part of a NIH's effort to better understand the threat of the illness. COVID hospitalizations hitting a nationwide record low. The CDC says that this past week, 8,256 people were hospitalized across the U.S. with the virus for the first time since tracking of COVID hospitalizations began in the summer of 2020. The number, a record low. Hospitals are required to report a weekly list of COVID metrics to the CDC to help track the spread until April 2024. This is the third straight year with the record lows around these months. Chloe is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later in sports, Brock Baldwin will have the highlights from MLB teams, Kansas City Royals and St. Louis Cardinals.
You know, when I think Memorial Day, I think of those beautiful outdoor plans, but this time is a special case. We'll talk about the rain here in just a second. Let's take a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, just west of Seneca, Missouri. Above all, We've seen a couple more clouds than we did yesterday, but once again, those acted as a blanket for those warmer temperatures. So those temperatures skyrocketed into the 80s this afternoon. Now we've dropped into the 70s, mid to upper 70s specifically. Joplin at 77, Fort Scott 74, 76 for Chanute. Iola, you're at 74 degrees right now. So a little cooler, but still on the warmer side. So if you haven't gotten outside, still the chance and still the opportunity to do so, to catch that beautiful sunset too. I don't know if you guys saw that just now, but our lows tonight are also going to dip down into the 60s, mid to upper 60s across the board. So not entirely cool. We've been into the 50s the past couple of nights, but now we're warming up even at night, as what is the trend that we're continuing to see. But we're also seeing those drier conditions. Our folks out in far southwest Missouri, as well as northwestern Arkansas, are not in this drier area, but heading a little further west. Independence, Chanute, Bartlesville, mainly in the Wichita region. You guys are in those drier conditions. So as you're out and about, before we see any type of rainfall, be extra vigilant of those drier conditions. Now, fortunately, we're starting to see a trend where we'll see a little bit more rain than anticipated across the board. Not a whole lot by any means, but more than what we have been tracking the past couple of days, which is a good sign for all of you folks that are a little on the drier side. Here's a look at our weekend. We'll see temperatures in the 60s as you wake up. Monday morning on your Memorial Day, we'll have clouds a little up to the north, but for the most part, we'll start our morning off pretty clear before those clouds become more prominent into the picture. By the time we get into the afternoon hours, around lunchtime, we'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies, and then we'll see a couple of scattered showers afternoon hours on Monday, your Memorial Day. So keep this in mind. Nothing heavy by any means, and nothing severe either. So just a couple of sprinkles of rain here and there. Expect that for your afternoon. And then Tuesday morning into the afternoon hours, we'll see that trend continue Tuesday afternoon. Now, overall, here's a recap of what you could expect to see Monday afternoon on your Memorial Day. You'll see temperatures rise up into the lower 80s. We'll see a couple of scattered showers into the afternoon and evening hours. But regardless, even if there are clouds up in the air covering the sun, the UV index is still going to be high. It doesn't stop the UV index one bit. 9 out of 10. So burn time, 15 to 25 minutes pretty quickly. So make sure you bring that sunscreen out along with you. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast and our extended forecast. Temperatures are continuing to warm up slowly but surely. 86 by next Monday. The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll see those chances for light showers and a possible thunder boomer here and there.
Which we need the rain, so that's good. But also it's light enough in pop-up showers that people can still enjoy the nice weather.
It's kind of the best of both worlds, isn't it? Yeah.
All right, thank you, Chloe.
Of course.
Memorial Day starts the unofficial cookout season, and with it often comes uninvited pests you want to keep away. Outdoor barbecues, picnics, and get-togethers attracts insects like mosquitoes and ticks making their way to you. Experts have a few reminders to help keep them away. If you grill, make sure there aren't insects like wasps nesting inside your outdoor appliances. Remove still water in bird feeders or gutters where mosquitoes can breed, and avoid excess mulch around plants that attract insects. Coming up, reaching a deal on the debt ceiling.
A deal on the debt ceiling and the next steps to pass it through the House and Senate. I'm Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. More on that story coming up.
President Biden and Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy make a deal on the debt ceiling. Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram reports on what happens next.
The White House and Republicans reach a tentative deal on the debt ceiling, avoiding a potential default. The plan suspends the debt limit until January 2025, and it cuts $1.9 billion from the IRS this year. That's funding that Congress gave the agency as part of last year's Inflation Reduction Act. Under the deal, non-defense spending would remain relatively low next year. It climbs by only 1% in 2025.
There is so much in this that's positive, and measure it to all the other debt ceilings. This is really a step in the right direction.
McCarthy says House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries told him there's nothing in the bill for Democrats. But Jeffries' take was a bit different.
It protects Social Security. It protects Medicare. It protects Medicaid. It protects veterans. It protects the American people. Well, I do expect that there will be Democratic support once we have the ability to actually be fully briefed by the White House.
McCarthy says the bill sits for 72 hours before he brings it up for a vote in the House, perhaps on Wednesday. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
New data from the Commerce Department says the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge went up in April. The closely watched core PCE index ticked up to 4.7% for the year. That increase kicked up the odds for more rate hikes, which Fed Chair Jerome Powell warned will be bumpy. Now, Friday's data report says the PCE price index rose for the 12 months ending in April. Financial giant JP Morgan Chase is making some staffing changes. The company is letting go of 500 employees this week. The layoffs will be across the company, but will mostly come from the operations and technology divisions. A company spokesperson says the bank regularly reviews its manpower needs and adjusts the staffing to address that. JP Morgan Chase is hiring in other areas. The bank has more than 13,000 current job openings posted. Up next, how some Louisville police officers are helping children deal with bullies and helping to provide self-confidence. Police in Louisville are teaching self-defense to children who might be targets of bullying or need a confidence boost. The Louisville Metro Police Activities League is teaching children the basics of self-defense skills, like strikes and kicks, and also life skills. The Police Activities League is one of many efforts from the Louisville Police to better build relationships in the community.
Kids come into this program and their parents and their cousins and their siblings, and they know officers. They actually meet officers. Real trust is built, real relationships are being built, and by virtue of that, phone calls are being made.
Louisville Police hopes these programs also help to make an impact on violent crimes. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, we'll meet a Missouri resource officer that saved a girl from taking her own life. A late-night call to a school resource officer turned out to be a life-saving move for a Missouri teen. The teen had run away from home and was threatening to jump from a tower. But it was a conversation with that school resource officer that convinced the child to come down to safety. Jackson Kurtz has the story.
It's a call few are willing to take.
In all honesty, I was just praying. You know, there's a reason why I was called out.
But as a Clay County school resource officer, Deputy Jonathan Bransfield is the right man for the job.
I just knew that I had to be 100% focused and 100% ready just to kind of do whatever it is that I could do to try to resolve the situation.
Around 9:30 Wednesday night, Kansas City police were trying to find a teen who ran away from home. They found him 115 feet off the ground, climbing the Worlds of Fun tower. The young man only wanted to speak to Deputy Bransfield one last time to say goodbye and thank him for all he's done.
If you just worry about just seeing if you can make a breakthrough and you can make some sort of impact to where it's going to change his mindset.
Once Deputy Bransfield arrived, he spoke to him for 40 minutes, relaying the simple message they talked about in football.
Keep your pad level down, keep your feet moving. And I said, it's just like in life, man. You're going to get hit and you're going to get knocked backwards. But we still got to get up and we got to set that pad level down.
The teen then worked his way down. Bransfield says his job at times is scary, but rewarding after building meaningful relationships in young people's lives.
I'm going to walk this path with you as long as you want me to, and I'll be there for you.
Officials with the Clay County Sheriff's Office says the teen is now receiving mental health treatment. Chloe Arroyo joins us in the Weather Center.
Yeah, today was one of the first days where, we reached up consistently into the 80s, but where you're outside for a good 5 to 10 minutes and you're already breaking out into a sweat. And, you know, in my opinion, that is actually the best kind of weather. I don't know about you guys, but temperatures right now in the mid to upper 70s. 77 for Joplin, even Pittsburgh a little cooler, as well as Fort Scott, hanging around at 71 degrees. We're only going to dip down into the 60s tonight. Our low, 60 degrees, but we'll warm up pretty quickly heading into the mid-morning hours. 10 a.m. we'll see 75 degrees. Now coming up here in a bit, we're going to talk about the latest drought conditions. I'll give you the update on that and when we could see some relief with those possible showers. I'll give you a full rundown on your Memorial Day forecast. That's all coming up here in a bit.
Thanks, Chloe. Millions of Americans are playing in the water at pools, beaches, and rivers, but a shortage of lifeguards could make this dangerous Memorial Day holiday. About half of the country's 309,000 public pools will be forced to close or reduce hours, according to the American Lifeguard Association. Experts say your chance of drowning in front of a lifeguard is about 1 in 18 million. Still, with a low salaries, a lack of qualified applicants, and rigorous testing, it's tough to find lifeguards. A lot of people will be grilling for Memorial Day. May is one of the leading months for grill fires across the nation. Nicolette Xandri has some guidelines to keep you and your home safe from Springfield, Missouri.
According to the National Fire Protection Association, gas grills are responsible for more fires than charcoal grills. The most important thing to remember when working with propane is to keep the lid open when you start the grill. If you keep the lid closed, that could lead to a small explosion, which becomes a large safety hazard.
Additionally, cleaning your grill is important in case a fire does occur. Fat and grease are great fuel for fires.
You just want to make sure you're routinely cleaning your grill and also emptying out the grease traps, anything like that. Ideally, if you can clean your grill after each use, you know, that'll definitely make sure you don't get an excess buildup of grease or fat.
Keep an extinguisher nearby in case a fire starts. You'd rather have a spoiled steak than your home on fire. Immediately call 911 and move everyone away from the fire or anything that could catch fire. It's recommended to keep your grill at least 3 feet from the deck railings and your home, including the eaves.
Some other tips to be aware of: if your grill uses propane, check for line for leaks. You can get a soapy water solution and apply it to the line. If you see bubbles, that could mean a leak. Plus, start your grill safely and don't rush it. If your gas grill doesn't start in 10 seconds or the flame goes out, wait 5 minutes before trying again. And designated one person to monitor the grill. Captain Lander says drinking is commonly paired with grilling during the holiday. He says whoever is responsible for grilling should take it easy while grilling. Still ahead, we'll take a look at guard dog business that is booming as a rise of crime continues.
Well, I hope you guys are having a good evening so far, and possibly even an evening outdoors. It's definitely beautiful for that. Let's take a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just west of Seneca, Missouri. Got a couple more clouds, especially off to our west. Actually, fun fact, or interesting fact, there's a couple of storms popping up in the Oklahoma Panhandle, so far off to our west, but not enough to bring up here because that won't be affecting us at all. Temperatures right now for us actually pretty calm and a little on the warmer side. Joplin at 77, Carthage 76, Nevada you're at 72, while Chanute you're at 76 degrees right now. So there's still time to go outside and hang out, enjoy the sunset, enjoy the beautiful clouds. There are a couple more clouds today than there were yesterday, but we're still staying pretty warm and we'll continue to do so heading into tonight in the mid to lower 60s across the board. Lamar 60 degrees, Nevada 61 for tonight. So overall, we'll be into the mid to lower 60s. So recently we've been into the 50s, so a little cooler, but we're beginning to get on that warmer trend as we head into the summer season eventually. Now, one thing to also keep in mind is the fact that our conditions are very dry for our folks off to the west. Independence, Chanute, even down in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, as well as Ponca City, especially the Wichita region. You guys are in those drier areas. Make sure you're staying extra aware and cognizant of those drier conditions if you're doing any potentially smoky activities such as grilling or whatnot. So make sure you're extra cautious of that heading into Memorial Day especially, but thankfully we'll see a little bit more relief than what we have been expecting, so not much by any means. Our folks out west will see a little bit more, which is where it's most needed, so it works out pretty well. But a couple of scattered showers here and there throughout your Memorial Day afternoon. So here's a breakdown of that. In the morning, around 6 a.m., we'll wake up to mostly clear skies into the upper 50s, lower 60s for the most part, and then we'll warm up upper 70s, lower 80s. By lunchtime, we'll see those clouds begin to fizzle in, but this is when we're going to see a couple of isolated light showers into the afternoon and evening hours. So if you have those outdoor plans for your Memorial Day afternoon, make sure you're extra aware, keeping that radar handy throughout the afternoon. That'll continue into Tuesday morning into Tuesday afternoon. We'll see some scattered showers as well. Once again, nothing severe, nothing heavy, just a couple here and there. Once again, here's a recap of your Memorial Day afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful mid-morning afternoon until we head into the later afternoon and evening hours. We'll see some sporadic rain here and there. But even with those clouds covering up the sun, that doesn't take away from the UV index. Tomorrow, 9 out of 10 for your UV index, relatively high. So the burn time still within 15 to 25 minutes. So get that sunscreen along with you if you have those outdoor plans. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast and your extended forecast. Temperatures warming up into the 80s for your highs, lows in the 60s, pretty consistent. See some rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a couple thunder boomers here and there, but above all, nothing severe, so it actually works out because it is much needed rain.
So there's still a chance you can grill out this week.
Still a possibility, for sure.
All right, thank you, Chloe.
Of course.
Don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. This father gets the Dad of the Year award for being fearless with his daughter outside of a Taylor Swift show at Gillette Stadium. The now viral TikTok shows the dad with his excited daughter hoisted up on his shoulders in the rain. The pair didn't miss Swift's Era Tour despite not having tickets. The young girl excitedly sings the hit You Belong With Me while rain poured down on them. TikTok users applaud the dad for helping his daughter create memories she'll never forget. Coming up in sports, local pro teams are in action today. Plus, the Royals were at home this Sunday. Kansas City was smoking hot. We'll go over the details coming up next in sports.
Well, the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals are wrapping up the final weekend in May. The Royals are trying to avoid the sweep. As for the Cardinals, they're trying to win their series. Nationals at Royals, Washington up 2-0. MJ Melendez, Sonic Slam seats, look out. That's a free slushie. Solo home run by Melendez, Royals down 2-1. So we get to the bottom of the 8th now. Edward Olivares smokes this deep to left field off of the scoreboard. Goodbye solo home run. When I say he smoked this ball, he literally did. Take a look at this. This ball hits the scoreboard and starts smoking. Unreal. So almost like the scene from the movie The Natural. Tied game now, 2-2, bottom of the 9th, same score. Michael Massey's at the plate, starting to turn the season around. Lines this to right field. MJ Melendez will come in to score. Royals win it. Massey gets the job done. Kansas City wins 3-2 over Washington. Cardinals at the Guardians in Cleveland here today. Top of the 5th, Alex Burleson. He has the distance. If it's far and it's fair, it's gone. And it is fair. Cardinals tie the game up 1-1 after the solo homer. Later in the inning, Andrew Kidsner takes care of that hanging breaking ball. Goodbye home run. Cardinals now lead 2-1. Still in the 5th, Goldie getting in on the fun. Paul Goldschmidt greets some bleacher bums with that shot. Another solo bomb. Cardinals go up 3-1. But Cleveland not going down easy. Bottom of the 9th, Jose Ramirez with 2 runners on exposes the no doubles defense. 1 run is in. Here comes Stephen Kwan, and that is ball game. Cleveland walks it off against St. Louis 4-3. The Guardians win the series. Well, Sporting KC had a very slow start to their season. On Sunday, Sporting tries to get things turned around at home against Portland. Sporting against the Portland Timbers. Great Western Conference matchup here. 33rd minute, Eric Tommy finds an opening and a left-footed shot on the money. Goal for Sporting. Check out the replay here. Perfect shot. Great precision. Game tied up 1-1. So we head to the second half now. Graham Zusi now with the assist to Daniel Shallowy. Goal for Sporting KC. Give the credit to Graham Zusi on the assist. Amazing that he has had such a long and great career in Kansas City. So the teammates will hug it out after that goal. So then, 67th minute now, Alvin Polito on to Larius Mabalia, and that one's good. Sporting starts to pour it on as we see the Sporting Kansas City picks up a much-needed win over Portland. They defeat the Timbers 3-1. Well, it's been a long week of Big 12 baseball in their tournament. Many regions close to the local schools like in Kansas, K-State, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State have all had good showings this week in the Big 12 tournament. But on Sunday, the Big 12 crowns a Big 12 tournament champ. TCU gets the best of Oklahoma State today in the Big 12 tournament. So the Cowboys looked great all day, but they were gassed. TCU got off to a hot start, and they win it 12-5 over Oklahoma State. So now we have to wait to see who will be in the NCAA regionals and find out where everyone will play next weekend. And also a final note, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas track team came home and they brought back that national championship trophy. So great to see a lot of fans there, confetti and champagne.
I did see a video of that. I also watched the Royals game today, and I did see that hit the scoreboard. I was like, "Whoa,
crazy.
Kids, did you see that?"
Absolutely.
It was good. All right, well, we'll be right back. Business is booming for guard dogs. The nation's crime crisis is fueling a huge demand for personal protection animals. Fox News national correspondent William LaJuzzi takes a look.
People don't feel safe anymore. So I'm giving a solution that you don't have to kill somebody. You don't have to use a gun. Just, have peace of mind. You have a protection dog.
Man's best friends are upping their game.
Your alarm system is great, right? It can let you know that there is a threat outside, but it won't engage in that threat itself. Protection dogs are ready to go at any given time.
With crime up double digits in major cities, many are turning to trainers like Delta Canine in North Hollywood.
Right now I'm short on dogs because there is so much demand.
Demand for high-end puppies and fully trained protection dogs.
Search. Me not being at home all the time, having this, I know that my family is safe.
Bobby took Coda home as a puppy, but returns twice a week for protection training.
You can't just get a dog that's trained. The dog knows everything, but you have to actually learn that as well. Just like gun safety, you have to learn how to handle a dog because it's a weapon.
Take Dexter, taught to intimidate or bite, release,
I'll say sorry,
even apologize. Prices range from several $1,000s to $150,000 for a fully trained personal protection dog delivered to your door. Owners say it's worth it.
I'm a real estate agent, and sometimes I'm alone at houses, so having a protection dog means everything to me.
They're a protection and they're also a companion. You feel safe. They come, they cuddle you, you give them kisses. It's best of both worlds.
So that's a lot of money, and most people don't need a top-level executive protection dog with that kind of training, but some do because of who they are and what they do. Many we met will get a puppy based on breed, pedigree, and temperament, and then attend weekly training based on their needs. In Los Angeles, William LaJeunesse, Fox News.
Up next, how a man in California was able to stop a robbery with just some kindness. Residents of a California town are praising one of their own for stopping a bank robbery earlier this week. He didn't use a weapon or even physical restraint to do it, just empathy. YZ Mitri has a story.
Word spread fast.
It's kind of a shock.
About a Woodland man.
Guy's a hero. I wanted to shake his hand.
And his unforgettable trip to the bank.
And I would have been here yesterday. I was going to come at 11 o'clock.
That's when I was here.
And I go, I'll just go tomorrow.
You missed the action.
Michael Armis found himself at the center of it while making a deposit here at the Bank of the West on Main Street, where he knows all the tellers.
Because I'm always joking around, and it wasn't no jokes yesterday.
Instead of smiles, this time he was met with looks of concern, and Armis noticed a man inside covering his face with his shirt.
I seen that the way he was talking, he was getting irritated. He said, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Woodland police say that man had passed a note to one of the tellers claiming he had a gun and was robbing the place, unbeknownst to Armis.
But the thing was, I seen something else. He seemed to be depressed the way he was talking. So I just approached him and I asked him, I said, what's wrong? I said, you don't have a job? He said, there's nothing in this town for me. Nothing in this town for me. I just want to go to prison.
Armis says he tried to comfort him and asked if they could step outside.
So I took him outside and I gave the man a hug right here at the doors. And he started crying. And then I stepped away from him and swoop, here come all the cops. No sirens, just lights everywhere. Rifles out, get on the ground.
Video from a viewer shows as police cleared out the bank.
The ladies were all worried. The one in there teller was saying, no, not the one in the black shirt.
Armis is pretty casual about it all.
I believed that it was meant for me to be here that day.
Police arrested 43-year-old Eduardo Plasencia for attempted robbery, and Armis says he's thinking of visiting him in jail.
You know, love overcomes all things. People don't realize that. Try to be kind to somebody, it makes a difference.
To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. All right, well, tell us a little about what's going on in the weather this week.
Yeah, for your Memorial Day, you'll wake up to some clearer skies, but slowly but surely those clouds will begin to enter into the picture into the afternoon. We may see some scattered showers as well. That'll continue on Tuesday and Wednesday before we see another clear day on Thursday.
All right, well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of red pandas at a Denver zoo. We'll see you right back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.